I'm Quinn Ewers.
My name is Asia O'Neill. I'm Shay Hawley. And Rory Harmon.
My name is Marcellus Moore.
My name is Rodney Terry.
I'm Coach Sark.
My name is Sam Hurley.
This is Casey Caney.
Welcome back to Between the Horns. Our guest today is a sophomore, plays on our volleyball team. She actually is one of 5 Longhorns that has over 100 digs in a season at 126, and she's an NCAA champion. Emma, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So coming off and now entering your sophomore season, what do you feel like has been the biggest jump in your own game?
The biggest jump in my own game has probably been to calm down my play. I'm in the back row, you have to be pretty quick, so just kind of calming down my feet, calming down my platform, if you know volleyball, and just trying to kind of trust my teammates and let everyone do their job so I can do mine better.
And coming in last season was your first year here, and as a freshman, you got a ton of playing time. I want to say you played in every match, if not almost every match. Were you expecting that when you were going through your recruiting process?
No, honestly, obviously I hoped for it, but I never knew it was going to happen. I mean, I knew that coming here would be very hard to get playing time. I knew I was going to have to grind every single day. All the best players in the country come here. So I was really excited for that and to compete for a position every single day in the gym. And then against Ohio State, I wasn't playing, didn't start or anything. And then coach threw me in, and it was really cool. All my family was there. So I was like, oh my gosh, okay. But I was like, this is my opportunity to kind of prove myself. And I went out there and just had a lot of fun and played like myself. And I've played ever since. Knock on wood.
That's awesome. And what do you think has been the biggest jump from playing in high school and now being in college?
Yeah, definitely the speed of the game, the crowds. I love the crowd. I feed off of that. It's awesome, but it's definitely a big jump. In high school games, you have people there, but you pretty much know everyone there. So just also being on TV. So yeah, all of that's very different, but it's very exciting and really fun. So yeah.
And for those of our listeners who may not know, Emma, you actually went to high school in Indiana. You're not a Texas native. I would love to know if moving from Indiana down here to Texas, coming onto the 40, were there any culture shocks, anything that you were surprised by?
I don't know if culture shock is the right word, but it was definitely very different. I would say I'm very much a city girl. I love to be in the city. I never really grew up in country or anything, but coming to Texas, I was kind of I'm sure it'll be pretty country. Not Austin. Austin is not, but I absolutely love it here so much. There's always stuff to do. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably the best decision I've ever made.
Do you own a pair of cowboy boots?
I do.
We've got you now. We've got you. So, what have been some of your favorite memories here, living in Austin, living on the 40?
Yeah. Oh, gosh, I have so many favorite memories. Just this place in general, I don't know, Nez, the football stadium, we live here, and it's our second home, but I just love this place so much. You walk in, everyone greets you, everyone's so grateful to see each other every single day, so it's just an awesome place to be, an awesome culture to be around all the time. As far as favorite memories, obviously winning the Natty, winning the Big 12, all those things are awesome, but the football games, baseball games, basketball, softball, every single sporting event is just an event, so I don't know, it's super fun to be a part of that.
Can you talk a little bit more about kind of the facilities that have been at Texas now? You're in high school, you have kind of the your set training regimen that you've been doing, and now you get here, and now there's so much more fine tuning into every portion of your game. So what has that been like?
Yeah, definitely nutrition has been probably the biggest change. It's not I ever ate bad or ate great either, but now it's okay, I know how to fuel my body, how to do those kind of things. And that's one thing I was super excited about coming to Texas, is I knew I was going to have access to Tank, to great nutritionists, as Sammy's mine. But she's awesome. I think that's probably been one of the biggest game changers. I've also gotten a lot stronger because of Donnie. The workouts I was doing at home I thought were awesome and great. But then I came here and I was wow, this stuff works. I don't know, there's such a method behind what they do, and it is crazy, and I'm so glad I get to use that.
It's directly translating into your play is probably what you're seeing. Yeah. And being here, diving into the team camaraderie a bit. I know that a lot of people on the team have been here for longer than you. Has anyone taken on that kind of like big sister or mentor like dynamic or role there?
Yeah, for sure my freshman year, like, and definitely now too, but freshman year, like Zoe and Logan Eggleston, and honestly, all of the seniors did such a great job of just like bringing the team together and like everyone just being such a family. I would also say Riley Heinrich's like a sister to me too. Like when I came on my recruiting visit, she was my first impression of Texas. My mom says that all the time. Like she always has a smile on her face. She's so positive. She was born and pretty much raised here, so like she just has so much great things to say about Austin and just around Austin and Texas. So she's definitely just always been a great friend and person that I've can rely on all the time.
Gotcha. And what were other, I guess, like memorable moments from like your Texas visit? Because obviously you had a ton of schools that were recruiting you, so ultimately why Texas?
Yeah. Honestly, like I said earlier, like you walk into the buildings and you're just greeted. Like everyone loves each other. And for me, like I'm an outgoing person. I love to talk to people. So having people who wanted to like talk to me and like greet me and greet my family, it was like a family. Like I walked in and I was like, wow, like this place is so welcoming. No one knew I was coming on my visit, but they all treated me with so much respect and like gratitude. So that was pretty awesome. And also like the volleyball game, football game, like I got so emotional at the volleyball game because I was like, wow, like I've never seen anything like this. And I was like, I'm coming here. Like, but even before I committed, I kind of felt the same way. So, and then, yeah, football games are just a blast. Like they're so fun. We took pictures with all the girls who were older than us, which of course when I was in high school and they're college volleyball players, I thought that was like the sickest thing ever. So yeah, super fun.
I mean, what are some of the things that you're doing on an off day in season?
Yeah, in season on an off day, honestly, like we've been super, super busy right now, but I kind of try to like get some time outside in the sun. During school and volleyball, like we play an indoor sport, so like I go to class, I study, I'm inside all the time, but I'm a person that kind of just like needs to be outside, so go on walks, sit at the pool, try not to do too much homework on an off day. I kind of try to let myself rest, but usually, you know, like you have to do that, but go on long walks. I love to do that on my off day.
Have you been visiting like the trails in Austin and such?
Yeah, my parents come all the time, and we love to go to like Lady Bird and walk around it. That's a blast. My parents love that. Everyone they see, they're like, you have to do that. I'm like, okay. Yeah, so super fun. I love to do that.
And what's been the, I guess now, like the culture and evolving in the culture when you started at Texas, obviously, they won a national championship, right? And then now you're coming into the team as a freshman, you're in this position. What was that pressure like?
Last year or this year? Sorry.
Playing last year.
Yes. I honestly like didn't feel that much pressure last year. Obviously, like I wanted to perform and be perfect, but obviously can't be perfect. But I felt a little bit of pressure in that sense. But everyone is just so like loving and like is there. Like if you have a bad game, like if you have a bad game, you're not a bad person, you know. And I think it's hard to realize that when you're young, but like it happens to everyone, and the team and the coaches are so great about that. So honestly, I kind of didn't have that much pressure. I didn't feel it really. Obviously, before the Natty, I was nervous, and before every game, I'm nervous. But, I mean, I don't know. The pressure is just kind of taken off because of the amount of love that the coaches and the girls all have.
And I mean, a lack of pressure is a great thing. That says a lot about the coaching staff that's here at Texas.
Oh, yeah.
How has playing for Coach Elliott, developed your play?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Coach Elliott's awesome. I tell everyone, like, he treats us like his own kids. So that's part of the reason I even committed here. Like, my parents felt so comfortable with the coaching staff, and they knew that them being, like, 17-plus hours away, I'd have, like, a second family here. But Coach Elliott's great. I mean, he's so loving. Like, I have a question, I can go to him. I have a problem, I can go to him. I'm having a great day, I can go tell him, and he's going to care, you know? Like, he's just that kind of guy, and also just a great coach, so motivating. Yeah, I love playing for him.
That's amazing.
I think this might be a reoccurring question, but we don't want to get you in trouble. But can you give us your best Coach Elliott impression?
Oh, yeah, everyone always asks this question. But, I mean, I always just say like this. Like, he just sits there, like, so stone-faced. I know that's, like, kind of boring, but, like, that's what he does. So he just sits there. I'm like, okay. And then we get in the huddle, and no one sees it. And he's like, yeah, like, you do this. And then goes back. It's funny. Yeah.
So I know you talked about like having a lack of pressure. Going into your sophomore season, was there more pressure compared to day one freshman season?
Day one freshman season was probably one of the scariest days of my life. I was so nervous because I didn't know what it was going to be like at all. Sophomore year, I think after coming off of a Natty, you do feel a little bit more pressure because you want to be just as great and just as all these things as my freshman year was. Like, I had the best freshman year I could have ever asked for. So try and just kind of like let there to not be pressure and tell myself like, hey, like last year's not this year and everything's like going to work out the way it's supposed to. I would say I really want to be a better leader this year, so I kind of feel a little more pressure in that way, but I put that on myself. So from no one else, just myself.
Got it. And in your position specifically, like coming into Texas, and last week we had Coach Metzger on, so he was talking about kind of the differences of beach and indoor, and you were like specialized for the position you play. So coming to Texas now, what has been the biggest jump in the responsibilities you have in your position, and then where do you see yourself slot into the team?
Yeah, so freshman year I was a DS, so I wasn't the libero. I kind of let Zoe led the back row, so she would tell me what to do, and right now, at least at this point in the season, that's my job. And so that's kind of what I grew up doing, so just getting back to that role and like that leadership role of like, okay, like I'm in charge of the back row right now and I have to be stern and be confident in what I'm telling everyone is kind of fun to get back into. It's really fun actually. But I don't know, I think for this team, I'm very much like an uplifting person, and that's what I want to be for this team. I want to be someone that people can go to when they need comfort. Like, we talk a lot about like, hey, if you're having a hard game or a hard time, like squeeze my hand or something like that, and a lot of us will do that. And I think girls can like rely on me to like be that person for them, and they'll be like, hey, like we're good, I got this, or at least that's who I want to be for this team.
And I mean, capitalizing off of the things that you want to be, what are some of your goals for this upcoming season?
Yeah. My goals for this upcoming season, obviously, as a team, like we want to win the Big 12. We obviously want to make a run and for the Natty again. That's the goal. Personally, I have a lot of goals. I would love to like get some accolades as a libero, all those things. But mainly, I just want to like help lead this team. That's my goal, is like to earn the respect of the girls and help start to be a leader.
You talked about this a little earlier, but the energy aspect of now in college, obviously you'll play in Gregory Gym, which is our very like, it's a lot more intimate of a space. So can you describe that environment and how maybe that's added to your mental toughness and kind of, helping or trying to block out all the crazy Longhorn fans?
Yeah, I mean, Gregory Gym is like the craziest place ever. Like every single game, I get chills. Like I walk in there, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is so awesome. But everyone is literally right on top of you. But knowing that like nearly 98%, whatever, of the people in that gym support you and like want the best for you is like probably one of the coolest things ever. But I don't know. I think at first you feel a lot of pressure playing in there and you just want to perform so well for everyone. And obviously you always do. But I think part of it is like what I said earlier, like volleyball doesn't define you and how you play doesn't define you. But everyone in there is still going to love and support you because you're a Longhorn. So it's really neat.
Besides Greg, I'd love to know loudest gym you've played in.
Ooh, honestly, probably Long Beach. Really? This past year, yeah, I mean, yeah. Their student section's like right behind the bench, and it's so sick. It was so crowded. I mean, it was pretty awesome to play there, I'm not going to lie.
Gotcha, yeah. And I guess, what are your thoughts leading up to playing in a national championship?
Yeah, pretty much like, holy crud, this is what I've been like waiting for my whole entire life. Like, I have dreamed of this. My sister played volleyball, so she's 10 years older than me, and I grew up in the gym, like from the time I was like 3 years old. I touched volleyball, I started playing all the time. So once I found out, like, oh my gosh, like I could do what they're doing on the TV one day, I wanted that so bad. And so like sitting in my hotel room, I was like, oh my gosh, like got really nervous, obviously, but it was more just like, this is like an opportunity of a lifetime. Like, literally almost no one in the world gets this opportunity. So to be able to go do this, like I'm going to take advantage and I'm going to capitalize on it and I'm going to have the best night of my life. So those are what my thoughts were trying to be. While at the same time they were like, okay, like you're going to play good, I promise. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was pretty sick. Like dream come true.
You talked earlier about your sister playing volleyball, and you said she's 10 years older than you, so that's quite an age gap.
Yeah.
And then I read online that your father played football, was it?
Baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah.
So you come from an athletic family. You come from a family where it seems like athletes run in the blood. What was it like growing up in that?
Yeah, I mean, my sister's 10 years older than me, and my brother is 9 years older than me. So they're really close. They were always super competitive with each other. My brother and sister both played everything growing up, and like me coming 10 years later, I was like, oh, like I want to be just like them, but I want to be better than them. Like they're my siblings, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was like they always drove me. Like they're the reason I'm here today, and I tell them that all the time. Like they pushed me to be better. They pushed me to be tough. Like I don't know, we'd compete outside. They didn't take things lightly on me. Like, hey, like you're gonna get dunked on, and it doesn't matter if you're 4 or not. Like, it's gonna happen. So, and my dad and my mom both. Like, my mom was a cheerleader, and she loves to say that she was a softball player. She was, but played outside with me whenever I needed it. Like, to this day, I go home. I'm like, hey, Dad, like, come on. And he's like, Emma, I'm like, no, come on. He's like, okay, we'll go play outside. Like, I'll toss balls to you. They are so willing to do whatever I need to become the best athlete I can be, and they've been that way my whole entire life. So to have that support system and those people that want me to be the best I can be has been the biggest blessing. And yeah, I would not be here without my family. So
That's great. And I'm noticing a lot of like you have the ability to create separation from like your identity and like the sport. Kind of when did that start, and how big of a role did your family kind of play in helping you be great at kind of everything you do?
yeah, I think very much in high school. I went to a pretty small school, so like if people like heard my name, it was like, oh, like she plays volleyball, and that was fine and awesome, and I'm grateful for that. But I always like wanted people to be like, oh, that's Emma, like she's like a nice person, she's all these things. Like my mom has always been very like, I don't know, you want to be known as a good person, and so I always wanted that on top of like everything else. So I think when I came to college, I really wanted to make that a point in my life. Like moving 17 hours away, I started from scratch. No one knew me here at all, and so like I took that as an opportunity to like create my identity as a person and as a volleyball player. So I've like kind of tried to run with that. I really try and do things outside of volleyball that I can find my identity as well. I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't know. I try to meet people in classes and do all those kind of things, as well as having my volleyball family and my athlete family. So if that makes sense. Yeah.
No, it does make sense, and it's the fine line between not being defined by what you do.
For sure.
And it leads me to my next question that I was going to ask you. What's bringing you fulfillment? What's bringing you happiness outside of volleyball?
Yeah. Obviously, hanging out with my family and friends brings me the most joy ever. But also, like, I love going to church. Like, I've found, like, a second home in, like, Red Rocks. I go there all the time on the weekends with my friends. We kind of go as a team a little bit. And it has been, like, a game changer since I moved to Austin. Like, just brings so much joy to me. We went to, like, as a team, we went to Elevation Worship. Some of us did. It was a concert here. And, like, I don't know. I think I've really grown in my faith, and that was really important to me going to college, kind of creating my own identity. My parents have always been super faithful. We're a Catholic family, so like I always grew up going to church, and I really wanted to continue with that when I went to college. But now I kind of feel like it's my own thing too, So that's been pretty sick for me.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. And what are some other like fun like team bonding exercises? Like what is a national championship team? Like how do y'all build chemistry?
Yeah, I mean, starting last year when I got here in the summer, we just like hung out all the time. Like whether that's dinner, whether that's going to the lake, going to the like Ladybird, whatever. All those things, we just do so many things together. And no one wants to do things alone, so it's like, hey, anyone want to do this? Anyone want to do that? It's always that way. If one's invited, usually all is invited. And I think that's a really cool thing about our team is we all just love each other and want to be around each other all the time. Like on our off days, we're together. Like we're a family, we're sisters. So I don't know, like mainly we go to dinner, we'll hang out, watch movies. We just have a lot of fun together in general.
For those who are like huge Texas volleyball fans and are aware of some of the names on the team, we got to know who's not getting aux. We got to know who is the loudest. We want to know who's the funniest. We got to know all that stuff.
Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, Mariana Singletary is on aux right She's really good at it. Asia was on it, but she's older now, so she passed it down. She's killing it with it. What was another one?
Loudest, most talkative.
Oh gosh, probably myself. Probably myself. I'm pretty loud and I talk all the time, so yeah, I would say that. Any more? Gosh, I'm forgetting what you said.
Oh, I mean, we can keep going. I don't want to get you in trouble, though.
You won't get me in trouble. Yeah, so those are the two that I could confidently say, probably.
This next segment is this or that. It's pretty self-explanatory. Let's get it.
Spike or block?
Oh, block.
Blowout or nail biter?
Nail biter.
Morning practice or evening practice?
Oh, gosh, morning.
Solo block or assist block?
Solo block.
Jump serve or float serve?
Jump serve.
Ankle braces or tape?
Ankle braces.
Training shoes or barefoot for conditioning?
Training shoes.
Post-match ice bath or hot shower?
Ice bath is better for you.
Movie night or team dinner?
Ooh, team dinner.
Tacos or barbecue?
Barbecue.
Italian or Mexican food?
Italian.
Serving or receiving?
Receiving.
Lake day or beach day?
Lake day.
Early bird or night owl?
A little bit of both. Probably early bird.
Welcome back to Between the Horns. That was this or that. Now let's dive back into the conversation. Now, Emma, you're a Macomb student. That's not an easy major, business major. How's it working out for you?
I really love Macomb School. It's very hard for sure. It's working out good. I intended to graduate in like 3 years from school. I don't know if that will happen just because like during season I try and take less hours. But we'll see. I love it. I think I'm learning a lot and all the professors are just amazing. They're so understanding of our schedule. So that's been awesome.
Have you decided on a track you're going to go into?
Marketing. Yeah. Yes.
What attracts you to marketing?
Yeah, I was like, I just thought it was a really good question. Go ahead.
I like to talk. I like visuals, so I really don't know. We're learning a little bit about marketing in some of my classes. And I was like, I think that's what I want to do. I went to a couple of like the workshops or whatever they do over there in Macombs, whatever they're called. And I don't know, that's like the one that sold me. It was like marketing, and I was like, hey, let's try this. And so far, I really like it.
How has marketing helped you in terms of like your own brand and with NIL? And everything
Yeah,
like that?
I really like this question. It's really helped me to understand it. I'm not great at asking for help, which is a fault. But I don't know, I think being in class and understanding like contracts, and right now I'm in business law, so like learning those kind of things and how you can sell yourself and how you can promote yourself in the most effective way has been really helpful for NIL. I kind of like to handle a lot of that like on my own and like figure it out. I think it's really exciting and really fun. So it's definitely helped me to like see like, okay, what's best? What looks best to companies? How do you word things in a way, like in an email to companies that it's like, I want to work with you. Like how, like, do you want to work with me? And marketing classes have really helped with that. It's been awesome.
And I mean, being at Texas, it gives you like such a prime opportunity to really build and establish your personal brand. Have you given any thought to what you want yours to be? What you want people to think when they say the name Emma Halter?
Yeah, I always tell people I'm like, oh, like happy and smiley. Like, I don't know, I just kind of like to be known that way because I am that way. Like, I'm happy. I try to be. I try to bring joy to people's lives, and I try to like portray that on like social media. I think that's a way that you can really promote yourself right now. Social media, as much as it may be a good or bad thing, that's really how it works. And so like I kind of try to promote it in that way, like a smiley, happy person, because that's genuinely true. Obviously, everyone has their bad days, but try to see the bright side of life.
Dream brand or company or partnership you could form.
Yeah.
What would that be?
I think most people say like Nike or like Lululemon, both companies that don't really do that much, but those would definitely be ideal.
And I would honestly, like when you're thinking about building a brand as an athlete, are you incorporating parts of your off the court personality as well?
Yes, so definitely try to do that. I mean, most of the companies I've worked with have been like clothing brands, so I'm super into like style, and I love that kind of stuff. So trying to reach out to clothing brands, I did like some Princess Polly, things like that. I think you can really express yourself in that way and like show people how you are and what you like to wear and what you're interested in. I love like Pinterest and all that fun stuff, so I kind of try to incorporate that in my brand, I guess you could say.
Yeah, no, I really like that because, I mean, when it comes to a lot of athletes, especially women in sports, I mean, the first idea we think of is like Nike, Adidas, Lululemon, things like that. But like Princess Polly, I love that. That's cute. It's cute.
Yeah.
So in this segment, we're going to be playing, or we're going to be doing versus, which is a segment where we compete against our guests in an aspect of their sport. I don't know whose great idea this was, but with Emma, we're going to be trying to return some of her serves. So let's get to it.
Keyword is trying.
I'm too demanding when they hit a double coat the candy. I'm so high, no landing. Keeping that Glock that steady. Rockin' they confetti. They all let it go on the telly. They all wanna rub my belly. I got my dogs out on pop it at the wrist. I got them coming in, look like a blitz. She wanna check me up, she wanna check my feet. I pull up the Maybach jumping, shawty better check my hits.
No scholarship, no scholarship.
Private landing, I guess I keep my candy. She super so good when the beach is sandy. I got it in Yoko, but they call me Randy.
Diamonds and Margiela, AP Canary Yellow. She deserve a patty cause she one of the members. For sure. When it comes to Sadaba, money not a problem. Turned me to a killer, I just smashed the model. Yeah, Tiffany come blue hope, good and pink.
Well, thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Between the Horns. You may have just seen me get obliterated by volleyball. Emma was a great guest. We're super excited to have her on. Thank you so much for watching.
Got her off that, got her off that, got her off that.